I hope I got it all. Oh, I did not. Here, let me redo that then. There we go. Now we can pop up and get into stream. Now we can do everything that we need to do. I can't even see it. There we go. Alright. Welcome in. When you all get in, it is that time again. It is that time again. Alright. So we're probably going to start off with a bit of a collective read at first, and then if any other questions need to be asked, we'll just do a 2-card. We'll keep it simple like that. I think that's a good idea. Let's see here. So what's going on with the general collective energy? What could we be working on? What are some... I don't know why the word hemoglobin came into my mind, but it did. Hold on. Yeah, what the hell? Make sure that you're breathing. I don't know who that was for, but you better make sure that your red blood cell count is okay. Whoever that one was for. I don't know why the name hemoglobin came through, but it did, and that's very interesting. So someone's red blood cell count might be a little down. You might feel dizzy, out of breath, kind of tipsy. If you are, be careful of that. I'm not sure how really you would fix that. I'm not really sure of that, but someone got that message for sure. Yeah, anemia. Yeah, anemia is caused by the low red blood cell counts. But that came up. Might want to check up on that. I don't really. It's the first time I've ever heard of hemoglobin before. I knew what it was. It was just like I've never got it in a way like that. To answer your question, Porter, does she? I don't know. Does she exempt anything to make you assume that she would? That's the only question. So first off, we have the 6 of Wands reverse. 6 of Wands reverse, you might be focusing on some losses. You might be going through a tough time. Whatever the case is, you're not really working with yourself at this time. You might be working against yourself or learning how to work with yourself in a more concise way at this time. Be very aware of that. What would that be? That is... It's a Leo card. Is that Jupiter? It is Jupiter, so yeah. So something about Jupiter, you might feel like your luck is down as well, but it's really just this building up of a new character of yourself, this building up of a new you that you're going through. And it's not, okay, building up of a new you is not the best way to really say that. It would be more, you might be having issues with trusting yourself going down a certain path due to either past events or a lack of knowing your feminine and masculine energies in a more concise way. With justice in reverse, it's really been kind of holding you back. There's some form of rules. There's a ruling over your life. Even dealing with the moral compass at this point, with the Justice card and the Six of Wands both being in reverse, you might need to check your moral compass. See, make sure that your morals are aligning with what you're trying to do. Make sure that whenever you are moving forward with whatever you're trying to move forward with, that your morals are intact. So if you are someone that says that and believes and lives by work less and still earn the same, make sure that you're actually living by those morals, and make sure you're not fighting against your own compass in that sense, because that's also causing a bit of a disconnect and could be causing all this wary energy to be around you at this time. Yeah, especially with the King of Cups reverse. King of Cups reverse talks a lot about the emotion, the feelings part, literally learning how to master your feelings, learning how to rule over, not rule over, but rule with your feelings so that they aren't overbearing you in the form of thoughts, or overbearing you in the sense of just emotions or acting out or feeling reluctant to do things. Just really checking up on yourself in a feminine manner, really checking it on your feeling state. If you're needing to rest, make sure you're getting that rest. If you're needing to get with something, make sure you're getting it. With nurturing yourself, a lot of people think that you have to have money to nurture yourself, when it's not really that case. Nurturing yourself can be on a multitude of levels. So really make sure that when you are nurturing yourself, that it's not being restricted by some sort of external lack or external structure, or however this may be for you. Make sure that you're actually giving yourself that acknowledgement, that time, that self-reflection, where you sit down and kind of talk to yourself to make sure what you're doing is what you desire to do. Make sure that you're really honing in on that and not focusing on the things that you're lacking. Don't pour out your own cup despite what's going on around you. You know what I mean? Always talk to yourself in that manner of seeing what you could change. And with the moon reverse, this is not a subconscious matter. This is a very conscious matter. These are issues that you are very aware of, that you might be going through. Again, it could just be a lack of finance, a lack of stability, however this is for you, or just like a lack of people, tired of being in isolation, all these other things that you might be dealing with. Really sit down and think, what can I do to change that? And if you have to change a way of thinking, whether it's a fear-based program thought or however, make sure you're moving forward with that, so you're not really getting stuck. Again, not really blaming anyone else for the things that's happened in your life. Really just accepting that it's your life, and moving with that, even though that can be hard. Really working on that forgiveness aspect is going to allow you to see a little bit more clearly, a little bit more in depth of what you need to do, and as well as nurture you. A lot of times when you get into that scapegoating energy and end up blaming other people, it becomes difficult for you to actually nurture yourself, because you're waiting on something on the external to happen before you can actually feel that nurturing internally. Which is why we always say, like, don't scapegoat, don't do that whole thing, because it's a trap of its own. Um, so really just focusing on yourself in that sense. With temperance in reverse as well, and that's what's causing this imbalance, is knowing that there are things going on around you that necessarily aren't the best for you, and you might be feeding into them. You might not believe that you're being as optimistic as you can be, and you might be doing a really good job at being optimistic and keeping your hopes up, but it feels like it's going in vain. And that's the part of you that you're really trying to change. It's not the fact that you're not doing it, it's the fact that you have this part of you that just will combat you whenever certain things pop up, or when certain things don't pop up, or depending on the situation and what you're doing. So really make sure that you're giving that nourishment and that attention wherever it needs to go, but make sure you're not overfilling it. Keep one leg in the water with the divine, and keep one leg on land. With the Five of Pentacles reversed, there's all of these are coming in reverse, which is very interesting. But anyway, with the Five of Pentacles reversed, don't allow sensory things. You could even just be allowing the senses around you, again, the things that you're seeing. You're not seeing a change, so you think that a change is not going to happen. So then you start, oh, why have you done this? And either blaming God, or blaming the divine, or doing something of that nature. Don't be falling for that trap either. Really allow yourself to know that just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not happening. It's the same thing as the wind. You can't really see the wind blowing unless you're comparing it to like a tree moving in the wind, in the breeze, or your clothes are moving, or the wind's hitting you, all those things. It doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means you just can't see it. Things are always happening without your visual self seeing, like experiencing things. So really give yourself that gratitude, that knowledge of you putting in that work. And just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not happening. You may even be nurturing yourself in that sense of trying to do that, but still kind of being in that worrisome, stressful state, which is what you're, if you are working through that, again, nurture that worrisome state. Really pay attention to it because it has the answer that you're looking for. Again, here with the King of Wands, once you take control of that and really start listening to what is being presented to you from that fear-based self, because all that fear-based self is doing is presenting you ideas of what it's picking up around you. And once you can read those ideas, and once you can basically reverse engineer them or look at them from an opposite side to put them into something new or recreate it, then you'll be able to start finding your answers a little bit easier. Then you'll be able to like look at things. And I'm even getting like, take a second look at something. For some of you all, especially with all these human resonance and timeline shifts and all this stuff, there's this different awareness that's happening, and you're needing to really make sure of that. You really need to like double check if you really were right about something in the first place, and allowing that to move you forward in that way. Because being stuck in an old paradigm while trying to move forward is basically going to be one of the hardest things that you can do. But really checking again why you see things aren't, as prosperous as they could be on the physical. Is it just because you're not satisfied with what you have, or is it because you're not accepting and experiencing what you have right now, and allowing that to nurture you in that sense? Because it's not that you don't have anything, and it's not that you're alone, it's that you loan this body, and you have to reconnect back with your twin individual. You have to reconnect back to the feminine, the divine part of you, the invisible part of you, the part of you that talks to you constantly but sometimes gets shut out by the rational self. So really just making sure about that as well. And this could even be going back and rechecking what happened within spiritual warfare incidences, or between you and twin flames or soulmates, or however you want to label them, or whatever this is for you. Just going back and double checking on what actually happened so that you can free yourself on a different level. Whenever you get to different levels and different states of consciousness, you'll be able to develop things differently. That's why most people are still at the level of hearing that they're under attack by magic and all these things. They're not taking it to that deeper level yet because they haven't quite grasped that yet. They haven't quite understood what you're messing with when you're saying these words. They don't understand what energy is, or how it can be manipulated, and how it even starts to become manipulated, and all these things. So if you felt like you've been going through upgrades and you've been trying to like look at your situation in different eyes, now would be a very beneficial time to do that, because you won't be in the same mindset. You'll actually free yourself up a lot more from certain curses or certain paradigms that you put yourself in. Again, Page of Wands reverse. Really inspect these things. Really look at these ideas differently with the new state of mind. You might not feel like you can, or you might not feel like it's going to be worth your time because you think that you know how that situation went, but you know how that situation went with that version of a past version of you. You know what I mean? You're no longer that past entity. You're no longer that past person. So you can't have the same thought patterns, the same beliefs as that past person. That's what you're really needing to understand and realize during this time, while moving forward. And just letting that soak in, allowing yourself to just truly see that and to understand things at those deeper levels is what's going to really help you move forward. Again, the Nine of Pentacles even coming out to kind of confirm that. Because with the Nine of Pentacles, you're going to be able to see the fruit around you. You're going to be able to see things in a brighter light. It's been a long process of healing and seeing things in different lights and moving forward in different ways. And now is the time to really start allowing yourself to be in that new energy, allowing yourself to move forward in those new energies, so that you can experience a new reality that you've been creating in the background, or creating subconsciously, or however. But really be in that mood right now. Really be in that energy at this time, so you can really see what you need to do to move forward, and what you can do, not even moving forward, but doing now in this kind of state. But right now, your main goal is to just unbind yourself, untie yourself from past belief systems, past thought programs, everything. And a lot of times when people say past thought programs and stuff, they think, oh, you're just talking about like me not liking something, or me not believing I can do something. Those count as well, but as well your old thoughts about people, because again, those come from old versions of you as well. Those are still things that programmed you and created your own identity that you're living still in now. And if you're wishing to go into a new identity, you need to change your whole spectrum on every level, so that those past things can't come back and snap you in the ass later on, because they most definitely will. So really take that time to unbind you from everything, every situation that no longer serves you, even the ones that you feel like are the correct way of saying them, releasing that attachment and getting a new one as well. It's time for a new understanding, a new enlightenment on your own self. So take time to do that. Again, it's cleaning out the vessel, the Ace of Cups. It's allowing the divine to come in and replenish you, to fill in your cup, to allow things to flourish within yourself, to allow things to flourish within your life as well, within your body and everything. Even though this might not be for everyone, because not everyone is able to do these things at this time, this is what you're being asked to do, wholly and truly, when it comes down to it. To be stuck in these cycles of blaming other people, or being stuck in the cycles of saying that someone's constantly doing something, only keeps you within that paradigm. And most of the times when you're stuck in those things, you're not going to really be able to defeat them, because it's just a version of yourself that you no longer even identify with. And when you don't identify with a version of yourself for quite some time, and then go back and try to combat it, it knows more about who you are than it, in that sense of it being more of a subconscious thing than a conscious thing. But regardless, you have at this time the chance to create whatever you're desiring. You have this chance to be able to jump to whatever new program you're wanting. I'm getting 444. If you're looking for an angel number, and that can also just be 8. So that's just really just your test. This is a new timeline that you're able to do stuff about stability, and not needing to really do any more. I'm gonna say this vaguely, and then I'm gonna go over what I mean. But not doing, there's not a need to do much more work. There's just a time for really reflection, and in that reflection period is where you're gonna get most of your answers. That's when you're gonna get to see the truths of situations, a deeper truth of them, to see what was truly going on, even getting answers that you might not even wanted to accept in the past. That's really going to allow you to move free. And it's coming because you're becoming more connected with yourself in this time. There is this detachment, there is this connectivity happening within yourself, but there needs to be a deeper connection with yourself. A part of you still needs to come back to you, and really allow it to see like what's going on, allowing the rational mind itself to go to the heart space, to go to the divine, to go to its feminine twin, and to ask what needs to happen next, to really see the truth of situations, instead of just identifying with again, past programs. Because again, however you're ruling things, however you're running your life, whatever programs you're subscribed to, whatever rules you're following, is what's creating these next steps for you. And you can't fall into a new life, a new paradigm, if you're still stuck within these old things. And that's really what I feel is the divine's really working with people on right now, is cleansing those types of things up. And it doesn't even have to be studying something on a higher level, or learning something new within the spiritual realm. It just has to be understanding a situation in a new way, in a much better, more cleansed way, so that you're not still seeing things from a certain lens. You might have tried doing this in the past, and it didn't quite work with the Page of Swords coming out as well. This might have been an adventure that you tried to take in the past, but you weren't either mentally strong for it, aware of how to do it, or even ready for that type of change. So at this time now, the divine's kind of poking at those who are ready to do this thing again. And even if you feel like you might not be ready, now is definitely a time to check in and see if you are ready. Always just ask yourself, like, is there something I can see different? Is there a deeper meaning to these situations that I've healed from, or that I've gone through? What more do I need to receive out of these things, so that I can move forward and move on to higher realms and better benefits for self? Because again, Three of Pentacles, there's a plan, there's a divine plan, there's instructions that need to be followed. There's a rule, there's a new building, there's a new project on the horizon, but it needs a stronger sense of self, a stronger sense of who you are and what's going around you at this time. So really focus on that moving forward. And even now, it might be a little stressful to do it because of, you know, time constraints, or maybe you've been trying to do this for a while and it's just now going to work for you, or however. It's just I'm going to say it like this because it's coming to me that this way. It's like you're a little bit behind schedule, but there's nothing that can't be solved a little bit quicker. You know what I mean? Like, you might feel like things are too close to the end and that there's not really a way to keep things in a balance, keep things within a realm of relativity. But right now, it's a good time to do so. It's just going to be a little bit stressful. Maybe it's stressful because you might have heard the voice in the back of your head say that this is how it really was before, or even to the point of you just not doing it till the last second. Regardless, now would be a good time to do so, giving yourself that rest while doing it, though, so that you're not overextending yourself in any way. But regardless, with the magician, this is what you've been creating. This is what you've been wanting to do, is to draw things from above down to below, to create this world, to create this reality that you're wanting to live in. And this next step just requires you to really oversee whatever situations you may have heavy on your mind, just looking at them in a different way, so that you're not so stuck within that past. You're not so stuck within those past identities. They're no longer able to control you in that sense. So really just paying attention to that moving forward. I feel like that is the majority, the main part that the divine trying to get to people, is just reevaluating situations that you've already gone through, and seeing if they truly were in the way that you experienced them, or if it was just because of the scenario and the energy at the time. But that's I feel like that's the message for that, is just to really look over past situations so that you can free yourself up. You might have some solar plexus blockages because of this as well, keeping you from believing that you can move forward with a stronger identity, or believing that you're able to create things. Being stuck in a more masculine energy than a feminine energy because of work ethics, or feeling like your work isn't good enough, a compensation, all these things, you know what I mean? So really just taking care of your chakras. Some of you might need to do some feminine energy recalls. Some of you might need to do some masculine energy recalls. Whatever it is, there's just a rebalancing of the scales that's kind of happening, that you're just needing to be aware of. If you catch yourself doing something too much without much avail, then that's really a sign that there's some sort of out of balance element inside of you. Whether that's the masculine or the feminine, or one of the chakras, or however, the mental to the spiritual, the feeling state, to the external, however this is for you, right? Just paying attention to those balances and making sure that they're in check, or at least in check enough for you to be able to move forward in a smoother, more coherent way. Well, that's what's going on. I always rise above. I always do. I float. I don't sink. I try not to sink. Sometimes I do a little bit, but it's like a bobbing. But yeah, if anyone needs a 2-card pull, let me know. We'll pop in and out with like little mini collective reads here and there. But if you need a 2-card pull, let me know. We'll get you scenarios. If you want to give a scenario, definitely can. If you want animal cards, I got animal cards. I'm gonna pull some out because of that as well. And if you need whatever my coin, there it is. If you also want to ask like a yes or no question, I can do a coin flip for you with my tarot coin, if need be. You know, we got different ones. But yeah, I'll get the 2-card pull. You have 2 job interviews. I got you. So I'll get Scorp, I'll get Puja. Let me get 3 animal cards real quick. Well, there's one. I guess there's three. Okay, well, we got the three animal cards. We're good. We're moving on. But I'll get you all this after I read these. We have bear, which is strength. The bear symbolizes a strong source of support in times of difficulty and adversity. It may be time for you to stand with your beliefs or truth with strength and confidence. You are free to roam at will and to follow your path. Also, Scorp, what would you want? Do you have like anything in general? Do you want like a general 2 card, or do you have something in mind for that? We have Jaguar with its growth. Maturity is the ability to embrace change, and change cannot happen without death. This death does not necessarily mean a physical death, but could be the ending of a relationship, a situation, or simply your decision to not continue with the same old habits. I got you. And Hippopotamus with exploration. If you become bored with your life, you have the creative power to stir things up and revitalize everything. You can do this by starting new projects, setting new goals, and making spiritual connections. But I got you for the 2 card pool. So we'll do Scorps first for a general. And then Pooja, did you want do you want a card pool for that, or did you want a coin flip for that, Pooja? I just want to get, I want to get like a list in my head going. I'm a giggler. I'm a laugher. I will laugh at stuff. It doesn't matter if I'm in a good mood or not. I'll laugh at stuff. I have to laugh. Card pool would be better. Got you. Because I'm kind of just adding multiple stuff into this. So we have like 3 different methods now. I just gotta make sure. After I do this, we'll get that card. Get those cards done. 2, 3. Alright, so Scorp, your first card is the 4 of Swords reverse. You may be very restless right now because of an idea, of a thought form that you're having. You might not believe that a certain thought that you're having is one that is supportive, or one that's correct, or one that can actually benefit you. You may need to take a second guess. Definitely take time for rest. Definitely take time to like lay down, meditate on things. Time and matter may be a huge thing that's making you redirect this thought. It might be because of a time constraint. It might be because you don't have the exact materials at this moment. But that doesn't mean that you can. That doesn't mean you have to throw away this thought form, because it feels like you have one good thought, and then everything else is like, don't do this because of that. Don't do anything else because of these things. It's not going to work because all these things are kind of mismatched. And with the 4 of Pentacles, interesting 4-4. The 4 of Pentacles could definitely be for this. It's a need to let go, a need to dematerialize. Don't be so hooked on to what you need just to have a plan, or just to start things. You don't know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna just get rid of you. You don't need that type of stuff in here. You can't condemn anyone, because that puts you in hell, unfortunately, regardless. The 4 of Pentacles, just release the need to control matter, control time. Release the need to really have a full visual representation of something before you can start thinking about it. Allow your thoughts, because your imagination are also within your thoughts, because your imagination comes from an amalgamation of your feelings and thoughts. So allow yourself with these thoughts that you're having not to deter yourself from doing what you need to do, because it feels like, as well, with how these cards are like out like this, it's like the golden thought that you have, the more that you've detached from that, the more that you've held on to things that are causing a stress, in a sense. So really beware of that. Don't hold so tightly to time constraints, or not having materials or things of that nature. But that's the 2 cards I got for you. So Pooja, let's get you real quick. So what's going on with Pooja and the jobs? What's going on with Pooja and these jobs? That was an awful one. I have to redo that one. That was not good. stuff. It's fine. So let's see here. We have the Page of Cups. So right now, Pooja, is a good time to listen to your feelings. Really, because right now you're kind of dealing with two different entities in a sense, two different jobs that you've applied for, right? So you really need to listen to your feelings at this time. Don't allow stress over one or the other create anything that would end up tearing something apart. So be very aware of that. And of course, I'll get you. I'll get you after this one, Ebony, for sure. Um, but be very careful of that. Learn to just allow your feelings to express themselves to you. It may just be, and it might not even be like a fear thing. Even it's more of just like a curiosity that may be turning into a bit of anxiety or excitement, and that might could be causing a lot of confusion as well. But just really focus on listening to that feeling. Don't allow yourself to become too attached to one job or the other. Don't overthink something because you think that one's going to be better than the other. You apply to both of them for a reason and stick to that reason of why you applied to both of them, and that's going to really help you out moving forward. With the Emperor, there is a position for you. There is a place for you to be at, a seat for you in there. But at this time, definitely just sit back and allow yourself to nurture yourself in the way that you need to before you jump in, before you start to work, so that you're not working and also kind of relieving yourself of this kind of stressful position. But with the Emperor and the Page of Cups, there does seem to be, especially with the Emperor coming out and the Emperor symbolisms and stuff, there does seem to be a work. There does seem to be a starting fire that's going to be kicking up here soon for that. But just allow yourself to really nurture yourself for this time being, and don't over exuberate on like stress or overthinking or anxieties or anything of that nature. But it does seem like you will be getting um, a job. Just remember as well at the end of the day that it is something that you are desiring. Yeah, just kind of like if you have any hobbies or anything like on the side to work on, keep your mind busy with that, and allow time to oh my gosh, if I could speak, allow time to do what it needs to do. um, but sure, Ebony, I'll get you some cards on love and career. See about that. What's going on with that? So what's going on with Ebony for love and career? So the first card is Four of Cups. Right now is a good time for contemplation. If you're wanting to manifest a love life, if you're looking for a love situation, definitely sit and think. If you're not wanting one, again, definitely sit and think. It's not that you're right or wrong about something at this point in stage. It's not that you're going to receive or not receive. But right now is just kind of in the planning phase. Get to know yourself a little bit more on the whys you're wanting a relationship before you jump into it. As for a career, sit down and think what kind of career you would want as well. You don't have to do these both at the same time, but if you can, more power to you. But definitely take time to meditate and get back to the why before you jump out. Because with the Four of Cups, it's not the Four of Cups is two cards put into one. It's the Ace of Cups with the hand in the cloud, and it's the Three of Cups with the three cups on the ground. It's time for you to focus on the divine at this time. Really focus in on the higher aspects of why these questions, of why these ideas are being presented to you, instead of getting distracted from the physical of what body type or who do you want today or what job do you want. Really ask yourself what job, why a job is necessary at this point. Why a career, not job but a career, excuse me, is calling your name, or why love itself is calling your name. Really sit back and think about those things at first. You might feel like it's a little bit strenuous or hard. You might feel a little bit trapped when it comes to those types of fields. But in the reality, in the grand scheme of things, you're not as trapped as you think. The swords aren't really trapping you, and the binds around you are not as tight as you think. It may just be a bit of fear or second guessing within the self, which is why you need to have this contemplation moment to really see what's stopping you from moving forward with the career, or what's stopping you from moving forward with love. If you already have someone in mind that you like, what steps could you take to talk to them, to create a connection? If you already have a career in mind, what steps could you do to learn more about that? Whether that's learning how to start up a business, or learning, the algorithms or things of that nature. Just figuring out the why, and kind of making a plan right now would be the best of benefit, rather than jumping into something immediately. But that's what I got for the love and career for you. Oh, I gotta respond to message real quick. There we go. But yeah, that's what we got. If anyone else wants a 2-card pool, let me know. Donations are appreciated, but not necessary. We'll probably do another like collective in a few minutes. Other than that, we got animal cards, we got a coin, we have birds chirping outside. If you have any questions about spiritual things, or dreams, or anything of that nature, we can talk about those as well. It's just going to be a multi-stream. We're just kind of putting everything together into one right now, so whatever happens, happens. And if you're wondering about the fundraiser that we have going on, the fundraiser is for the tarot classes that I run. If you're interested in the tarot classes, you can go to the website, to my website, and look at the services that I have there. But the fundraisers for tarot classes is to help get better equipment. It's to help to it basically is just for better equipment. At some point, whenever things become a lot more stable, I'm thinking about getting a building and doing teachings in person with that type of stuff. But other than that, it's just to get resources and everything else at this time. If you would like to donate to that, you can. The donation subsidy is off. If not, don't worry. Your support energetically is really good enough, and I'm truly thankful for that, regardless. And of course, no worries. No worries. That's what I'm here to do. That is what I'm here to do. Do you have any hard copy books? No, not yet. All the books I have are PDFs, and they're 15 a piece. If you get both, okay, so I have 2 duality books, and I have 2 books on the ego, and those come at a bundle. You can get both of those for 20, or you can get individual books for 15. But I have the 2 books on duality. It breaks down what duality is, and that nature, and what duality actually is, and what it means. I have a book on self-love, a book about the world and how it kind of works. I have a book on the ego, 2 books on the ego. It's the ego talks about the rational self and how that works. I have a channeled book, and those are the books that I got. And how much for a question? Donation based. They're really free if you don't really want to donate anything. They're for free. But other than that, they're just donation based, so whatever you feel comfortable paying. At some point, I will be getting hard copy. I can't speak. I'm gonna get hard copy books soon. At some point, that is a goal. Right now, I do not have the resources or to do that. But it is on the to-do list. I've been stuttering all day. Mercury's gonna go on retrograde, isn't it? That's what's happening. I don't stutter until Mercury retrograde kicks. That's like it's happening, isn't it? I gotta go look this up. I swear to God, it is. Yeah, that's okay. The books aren't that big though. The biggest one I have is like, I think, 17 pages, but you know, I know how phone space is. It is March fucking 14th. We're in the shadow period, bruh. I'm gonna be stuttering up a storm for the next like half month. Why, dude? I like Mercury retrograde, but every time I don't stutter until it happens, and that explains so much of why I've just been stuttering like crazy. Have I been? I've been doing well. How have you been doing? Yeah, you could get the 2 cards, you can get a coin flip, you could get animal cards. I got 3 things going on here. You've been living, that's good. Could I email you the Discord link? I can. Why don't see? I don't even know why I didn't. That should have been something that I did way before. You know, I should have sent that with the links I already sent you. I just did not. It just didn't click. Mayor Steven, I got you. Let me get this link real quick, and I will get you with that reading. Let me remove that. I don't want to invite anyone specifically. I don't want to do that. Set it to never. All right. There you go. You can't send emails by hitting enter. Okay, there we go. I sent it. All right. So Furious Pharaoh, did you want yours about anything in specific, or did you just want it in general? And I'll get you. I guess while we're waiting on the answer, I'll get you right now, Natalie, since it won't take too long to get that. But about love, we'll get you for that real quick. But yeah, if you have any sort of like specific situation or inquiry, you can hit that up, and I'll let you. And I'll see what the cards got to say for that. But for love, for Natalia. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm blind. So your name's Natalia. I've been calling you the wrong name. In general, I got you. So let's get Natalia's for love real quick. So wow. So the first one is I say wow, because it's the Ace of Cups reverse. So for love, right now would not be a good time for love. Right now would be a good time to really focus on yourself and giving yourself love. You might be looking for external love to fill a gap, to fill a void, and that never leads to anything good in relationships. Make sure that you are nurturing yourself first before jumping into any form of relationship at all. Like that's just for everyone too, right? So really make sure that you're nurturing yourself at this time. Take rest. Allow yourself to do the things that you desire to do without needing an external person or a secondary person around you to kind of boost that. Really focus on that at this time right now. But that doesn't mean that you have to walk away from love. With the Eight of Cups reverse, don't walk away from love after hearing that. Don't feel like love's not going to come towards you. You might just be struggling with a form of love because there's a resistance internally that's kind of keeping things apart. So really take time to nurture yourself deeply, allow yourself to cleanse yourself, taking, baths or something, just go to the spa, get a massage, really take care of yourself in that sense, even taking a nap, you know what I mean? But really give yourself that nurturing care that you need personally before moving on and walking away from that step. But you can manifest love definitely. I would just be careful. It would not be a very good relationship at this point if you did go for it, because there'd be a gap within you, and that could act as like a portal for you to get more emotionally entangled with someone and causing more distress in that nature. So really just make sure that's all good before jumping forward too much, But we'll get you now, Furious Sparrow. I'll get you for a general. Well, that happened. before you know. I'll split this. Let me split this one more time. So your first card is the Ace of Pentacles reverse. So right now you might not be receiving something on the physical that you're wanting, or at least getting some form of gratification. You might have felt like you've been putting in some form of effort but not receiving any reward as well. And at this time, really be aware of the work ethics. Are you doing something too much and expecting it to work because of brute force, or what's going on here? Really keep an eye on that masculine energy when working. Or whatever this may be for you. This can be working out the job, working with the person, working on yourself, just allowing yourself to be a bit more easy on yourself when you are working. And the Three of Swords comes out to kind of even confirm that. Don't beat yourself up. Don't allow yourself to think that what you're doing isn't enough. Don't let your thoughts kind of stab you by saying, oh, you need to do more, or you're lazy, or you're not doing all you need to do because of something not happening on the physical. That's not the case. The case is you're putting in the work, because the Ace of Pentacles is already out there. You're doing the work, but it's just not being handed to you yet. There's some form of lesson that still needs to be learned. There's a softness, there's a feminine energy that needs to be more delved into to receive a reward, to receive this final outcome. Whether this reward is a relationship or buying something or however, there's this thought form that kind of is keeping you away from it because it's combative. It's very like, why I should have this by now, why I don't have it anymore, what do I need to do? Do I need to do more work? Do I need to add more things onto it? Don't overbearing yourself at this time. So really kind of draw back and be in a more relaxed mood with whatever you're doing so that you can receive more, so that you open yourself up to receive what you're desiring, or even something that could be more than what you're desiring. But really being careful of that. If you're having issues feeling like using your gifts as well, or using any form of like energy that you know of within yourself, don't feel like you're not able to because you're not seeing an immediate outcome as well for that. Allow yourself to really nurture yourself, because sometimes it's not the fact that things didn't work out or things don't work out. Sometimes it's just our approach and our outlook on it is what's keeping it from arriving to us quicker. And I got you. I'll get one general for you. I'll get one for you. I don't know whether to call you dainty or gorilla, and like either way is fine with me. I just don't really know if I want to say gorilla. I don't know. But yeah, I got you. I'm just in one of those moods right now. My brain's just braining. Welcome in. So let's see. Yep, be patient and receptive, because it's not the fact that you're not doing what you need to do. It just might be an overworking or a stress on it that's kind of keeping it back. So, so the dainty, your first card is the Knight of Cups reverse. Take time to really know what your feelings are showing you. If you're having a hard time feeling something, or having feelings of bottling something up or pushing something away, be careful of that. Try to learn what's moving you forward, and especially if you're trying to move forward past something without thinking about it or without pondering it, definitely take a second guess on that and look back at it, because that might not be the best choice for you. When you do decide to focus in on these certain feelings, call on the divine. You can call on your angels, your ancestors, whomever you need to. With the knights coming out, with the horse being there, any horse on the tarot represents divine power, extra power, horsepower, right? It's power, it's things that can carry you over. So you may be needing an extra shoulder to lean on. Don't feel like you have to as well deal with the feelings or the emotions or the trials that you're going through by yourself. If you need someone to lean on, make sure that you are being vocal with that as well. And we have justice out here. But regardless, if you've been looking for an outcome that's favorable, if you've been wondering when something is going to kind of be a little bit more bright and balanced, it will be. You need to reevaluate something. There needs to be a less strain on yourself. Don't not feeling like you have to do everything by yourself, or feeling like you're unable to speak to someone in that sense. Being sure to really open yourself up. So really working up with the throat chakra would really help with that as well. But just really focus on your internal self. I mean, everyone really needs to focus on their internal self, but truly like focus on what you're feeling and why you're feeling it, so that it's not a blockage for you, or it's not like not combative, not restrictive, but like in the way, so you can move forward to better lands, to better places, and things of that nature. That's what we got for that. Yeah, we're doing 2 card pulls. Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to reach out if you need to talk or anything. Truly, like there are people to reach out. You can make friends within this place. You can email me. You can do whatever you need to. You can write on a piece of paper and burn it later. Just allow yourself to express it and don't ball it in, so it's not holding you back or getting in your way moving forward. But yeah, we're just doing spiritual talks. We're doing all sorts of different types of reads, 2 card pulls. We got coins. We got animal cards. We got all sorts of stuff going on. And again, if you're wondering about the fundraiser is for the tarot classes that I do. The classes are $250 and they're on Google Classroom, and I break down everything from like the astrology to the symbolisms on the card, like all the way down to hand symbols, what the animals and stuff mean, everything like the numerology, the colors, the clouds, what the cups mean, everything of that nature. But eventually, at some point, we're going to be taking those classes into like an actual like building or a place. The fundraisers to help fund with that in the future, and as well as to get better equipment, so that making the classes will be easier, and as well getting, I guess, cards for everyone as well. Because when I do the live classes, I'm wanting to get as many decks as people will be there, so they don't have to really worry about that type of thing. But as well, just having an extra deck for myself when I'm doing the classes as well would be good. Because with Celtic crosses and normal tarot readings, there's like the cards need to be in 2 different orders. One of them doesn't really have a specific order, but when you do Celtic crosses, it comes in a certain order. Grants. Yeah, I tried getting a grant. I did not get approved for it though. And the person that does the grants doesn't even like talk to me anymore. I don't know why. But I've tried going for grants. I've just been declined. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. Why did I mess that up at the end? Good. Well, it still kind of worked. But yeah, I've tried going for grants. That hasn't worked out yet. And I would do like a GoFundMe or stuff, but I don't have a phone number. which like eliminates a lot of things, surprisingly, that I could do that probably would help. I just don't have a phone number or the funds to get one, unfortunately, because I need to be able to send like SMSs, and I can't receive those with what I have. I don't need to go there. I can just do this, actually. I'm pretty sure it's all in here. Yeah, it can definitely be a little overwhelming. It can definitely be a little overwhelming for sure. You can get, yeah, it wouldn't be in the way that you would think though. It would be more of the relationship between you and yourself rather than you and someone else. Because when you're reading tarot is all about you and not another individual. That's not how tarot is supposed to be read, and that's not really how you can even read tarot. Unfortunately, people don't know that and would disagree with that completely, but that's, honestly the truth of it. So we would be able to, but it would be more the reason of like the relationship between you and yourself, and then you could compare that to the relationship externally in that way. But I can do that for sure. Because the whole thing with tarot is just a story of life. It's just telling a story of the fool's journey, being sent away from mother to come back to mother. That's all a journey within a soul, within a self. But I can get you with that, no worries. Let's see here. Your first card is the Page of Cups reverse. So at this time, you might not be listening to your feelings. You might not be very honest with yourself with how you're feeling about certain things, or letting things slide that you shouldn't be letting slide, which is showing you a lack of boundaries within self. If you feel like people are overstepping your boundaries, or feel like people are almost taking advantage of your feelings or your emotional state, that's where this is rooting from. So really take time to see what you've almost been allowing to have happen to you internally that would be projected externally. Like, let's say you want to do something, but you make an excuse not to do it. That would put pressure on you, and then externally it would be projected as people not really wanting to do things for you whenever you need them to be. But what you're looking to do is, once you start looking at those things in that type of way, you'll instantly be at the King of Cups, which is really good because the King of Cups just shows maturity within that realm. So right now, just focus on how to speak to yourself, on learning how to listen to how a fish sounds. Speak fish. Listen to your feeling state so that it can become more matured, and instead of it, being a novice way of doing things and just learning it, you'll be able to master it, and therefore be able to know why things are happening externally. Now, this doesn't just mean that someone externally isn't going to do something because they don't have their own issues. Of course, other people have their own issues as well, but it's more of what you're going to allow to have stand, and how much of an upheaval it's going to create within inside of you. That you're going to be looking for and looking at. So just kind of reinstating new boundaries, looking at how you feel, reading your realm a little bit, and really tapping into that heart space to see what's going on and how it really makes you feel and react. But that's what's going on for that 2 card for you. But with the Page of Cups reversed to the King of Cups upright, this does show a very quick maturity within that. Um, so it wouldn't be like, you know, a long time of doing it. It does seem like it'd be a very quick transition, and whenever you would make that transition, you would be a lot more stable, not only within yourself but within your relationships, because stronger boundaries would have been reinstated. So definitely, definitely do that if and you can. And if you, you know, it might be a little bit difficult at first, so don't put too much pressure on yourself, of course, but do what you can for now, so that you can expand yourself further on. Yeah, it's a work in progress for sure. You just have to learn, you know, because even sometimes when you set boundaries, you might feel like you're being too pushy or things aren't, you know, that you're not being as pure or authentic as you need to be. You know, sometimes authenticity hurts because we're so used to wearing a mask that we're not really as sure of how it really feels to be ourselves. So be sure to like check up on yourself in those ways, and even if you do feel a bit rude or mean for, you know, setting a boundary and standing on it, allow yourself to know that it's not a feeling of you being rude or mean. It's just, you know how it feels to be on the opposite end, and you end up placing yourself in those person's shoes and feeling their emotions and their feelings for them, and that's something that you shouldn't be doing. You know, that should also be a boundary with you if you're going through that. Well, welcome in, Jennifer. Welcome in. How are we doing now? How's everyone doing? Definitely. Being authentic is hard just because of the mask that you wear. Like, you'll think that you're not being true to yourself, but it's just because you've conformed to a version of yourself that's used to it, rather than a version that, uh, you know, would be truthful and would either like it or not, you know. And then that can stem from being like, oh, now you're being negative or whatever people say. You know, that's not even a true statement for that. It's not that you're being negative. It's just that you have a boundary that you're letting have stood on. If most people that said you're being negative really like had the boundary work that they thought that they did, they wouldn't be saying people are negative in that sense. They would be able to understand that they crossed the boundary, and it's more negative to allow people to do to you as they please than to stand on a boundary for yourself. Because a lot of people get that mixed up because they'll think like, oh, you're just doing this because it's mean or it's rude, or you shouldn't be talking to them because it's spreading negative energy. It's not. That's the combat between a person and someone else. The only reason why they're feeling that negative energy is because they're observing it and they're disagreeing with it because they would personally do something different. And then their ego gives them that gratification of going, oh, you would do it differently, so that means you're better than them. So why don't you show them that you're better than them by telling them that you should have done that better? And then that gives them like an ego boost. Even if they're not aware of it, that's literally what's going on with the rational mind. Because it will grab onto anything that it will just fucking grab onto whatever it can and run with it. It's so weird. It's a literal dog. It will just grab shit and run. But at the end of the day, it's really more negative to the self to do that, because, you know, to go around and tell people what energy they're projecting is just a mirror of that individual, not accepting who they are and what they feel. Um, which some people don't get, but I mean, it's all of it's everything is a version of you, because if it wasn't yours, you wouldn't feel it, you wouldn't be affected by it. If it wasn't yours, you wouldn't even be seeing it. It wouldn't be anywhere in your realm if it wasn't yours, which is unfortunate. Yeah, or that too, and that still comes from that rational mind self of like, people being used to being around certain groups of people, or because, oh, if I do this, then you should do it too. It's conformity. It's where people just want everyone to kind of like conform to be one when one doesn't exist. One is just, One is a building block. We're really three. We are three in one, which we're two in one. What makes us three because the one is the body that holds the two, the spirit and the soul, or the mind and the heart. The spirit being the mind, and the soul being the heart. Whenever that happens, it's because there's something inside of you that's showing you that you don't agree with whatever they're doing with. And whenever you're messing with like negative energy, a better way of saying it is just pessimism instead of negative energy. Because in the realm of energy, you're dealing with two poles. You're dealing with the positive pole that gives and a negative pole that receives. And that's how the masculine and feminine energies work. The feminine energy is the giver, and the masculine is the taker. It shouldn't be in an aggressive way, but it's in a symbiotic way. So when you're messing with people and dealing with the term of negative energy, it's more of pessimism. What is that person doing to make you either doubt something that you're around or making you feel pessimistic about? Because in reality, we're really worried about pessimism and optimism. We don't need pessimism, we need more optimism. Because energy itself is going to be how it is. If a battery did not have a negative side, it'd be useless. If a battery didn't have a positive side, it'd be useless. It needs both of them because they work together in tandem. So really just see what created that storm, because it all happens internally, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. It could be body language, it could be a tone shift, it could be anything of those things that you just don't agree with at that time, and that disagreement is going to be rooted in a form of something that's happened in the past. Maybe you've had a tone change in the past that sets you off and it puts you in a fight or flight mode or in a bad mood or however, or you had someone use body language as a fear tactic or something of that nature, and it triggers that same response still because it hasn't been seen or recognized or like delved into and healed properly. So seeing it from that point of view, though people can try and send energy, which we all do. People that say that empaths are receivers and narcissists are projectors are big fat liars, because everyone's a projector. That's the only way you live. You would not be here if you didn't project. You would not have a reason to be in the flesh if you didn't project. Simple enough, right? We all receive. So it's not that one type does one and the other type does it. We are both narcissists and empaths at the same time. Because even when you are a selfless giver, and you are allowing people to step on you, that's a people-pleasing thing. Some people would call that empathy. That's narcissism to yourself on a deeper level, because you truly don't want that. But instead of standing up to yourself and allowing yourself to set that boundary, you're then putting a version of yourself in a higher position, which is basically narcissism, by holding them up in a higher stature and glorifying that version of you for some odd reason, and then allowing it to do that, because you're everything in one. If it's around you, you're it. You're the narcissist, you're the empath. You are the abuser, and you are the victim. It is the symbiotic relationship in life, and it's a symbiotic relationship that we all exist in at once. And there is no difference between the two. But some people would like to say there is. I don't know why. I guess it's just uncomfortable for people to accept that. But that is the full-blown truth of things. You cannot have one without the other. There's not a singularity that's happening. There is a two. If one is happening externally, it's because something that's causing that is happening internally. Usually it's polar opposite twin. Usually. Most likely it's polar opposite twin. If it's not its polar opposite twin, it's somewhere within that spectrum space of whatever label that emotion you're dealing with is, or action. But without all that being said, everything you experience is real. It just matters on how you label it, because labels give power. Labels give a position for things. So if you're going to label something as something, you need to make sure that you know what it's labeled as, so you're not giving something a power that it doesn't even need. You know what I mean? You gotta ask yourself always, because that's the thing. You have to test spirits. Test every spirit that you meet. Even when you get those thoughts, because the thought is not what you need to pay attention to. You need to pay attention to the feelings. Whenever you pay attention to your thoughts, you're paying attention to the rational mind. You're paying attention to the external rather than the internal. That thought was created by a feeling that was generated by an idea that you were faced with. So really look deeper into it rather than face value. Some people will look face value at it, that's perfectly fine. But when you look at the deeper realms of things, then you're actually able to control yourself. Not able, not having things on the external control you, not having things on the internal control you either. Just being who you need to be in the authentic state. Not having a reason, not having a leaning reason for why. We're all going to have a bias for things, obviously. That's just part of the game. But not allowing that bias to sway us too much one way or the other is the key of balance. And that's what we kind of do back and forth in reality is that juggling effect. Your thoughts will deceive you. Your feelings will never. Some people say you can't trust your feelings, but that's a big fat lie. Some people say don't trust your heart, but that's also a lie. The only reason why you wouldn't trust your heart is because your thoughts are silencing your heart. Because no one's ever heartbroken. No one's heart can be broken. That's just your thoughts. Your thoughts are creating impulses that act as feelings. Because your brain knows what a feeling, doesn't know what a feeling is, but knows how to generate the force of it. It understands enough, overstands enough, I should say, that a feeling is going to generate a response. And though it doesn't know what feelings are per se, it knows how to generate that same response. And that's how we get emotions, is acting on that impulse, acting on that response. And your brain, your rational mind, your thoughts will work off of that. And make you feel like you're heartbroken, but in actuality, you're mind broken. You're more confused why something happened, but because your brain understands that feelings are coming from this heart space, it's going to say that the heart is broken to try and protect you from your heart, rather than protecting you from what really need to be protected from, and not necessarily protected from, but more grounded in, which is your mindset. But that's what's going on with that. That's basically how the brain operates on a level. Welcome in. But no one really talks about it either. It's mainly because not many people understand the science of a human. They would like to think that they do, but if they're not talking about that stuff, I don't think they really understand the basics of it. Because everything has a reason, and that reason comes from the divine, the invisible, the unknown. And that unknown has a reason as well, which isn't for humans to really contemplate about, but is definitely a fun point to contemplate about if you have the grounding and the stability to do so. But it is very fun to ponder about. Well, that's what's going on. That's what's going on in the grand scheme of things. Don't talk about Rashad Jamal around me. Rashad Jamal, he is not who you think he is. I don't know if you're a fan of his. Hopefully, if you are, I would recommend to stop watching him and learn some truths about life. Rashad Jamal has helped some people, but he spits a bunch of lies. He doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes down to the actual sciences of the life and stuff. I don't know what he's on. He's not a good person. I'll leave it at that. Actually, not very a good person. He might have helped a few people, but he has abuse issues. And anyone that tries to say that they get divine insight and calls women whores, is a big fat liar. I don't know anyone who works with the divine that would ever call a woman a whore or a bitch, but, you know, simply put, that's not a very divine thing to do if you are a heightened, enlightened being. Because, like, I don't know. Bro, like, because even when he talks about melanin, even, like, oh, I know what you mean. If you ever listen to him talk about melanin, he lies out his fucking ass. He doesn't know what melanin is. He's a melanated being. Well, fun fact, we're all melanated beings. Fun fact, we're all carbonated beings. But he doesn't know that. He I don't know. He probably got fucking Bobby Hemmett disease. I'm the same way with Bobby Hemmett. Good man. You know, he taught some people, but boy spoke out of his ass most of the time. So I just wish that some people would do their research, dude. It's not that hard to Google shit. It's not that hard to look at the truth of stuff, bro. It's like, go take a biology class. Most of the stuff that he talks about I learned in 7th grade biology. I think I would know. It's just how it is, man. Goodness gracious, I don't know. I have not heard Rajal Jamal's name in a long time. That threw me off course a little bit. I was like, man. But, I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due. Truly. He has helped a lot of people. He helped a lot of people get into meditation and know about the chakra systems and know about some of the galactical forces at play for sure. But he has like godhead disease. I don't know if that's what it's called. I'm gonna call it that. But he like some people just can't handle power, and he is one of them, unfortunately. You know. But I mean, he did help people. I'm not gonna say that he didn't, because he did. But he's also wrongly educated those exact same people. So the scales are balanced in a very weird imbalance. So I don't know how that happens or how you can do that, but it has happened. But welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How we doing? How are we doing? What is we're doing card pulls. I have animal deck, I have the tarot deck, I got a coin that we can flip. I've heard about the ice ball theory, but like at the same, I don't really have an opinion about it. I still need to do, I can do more digging on it, but like, I just need more. I need to do more digging on it, honestly, because I've heard about it, I've read about it, I've read some of the stories that people have written. That one pilot that flew over the ice wall. I've read that manuscript. You know, I don't have a solidified, statement on it. But it's a very interesting thing to read about for sure and to delve into. Not to talk about Rajad Jamal, but like the worst thing that he's ever done, and I don't know why the hell he did this, but he threatened to kill some dude, the young elder, I think it was, and his children. If I don't remember who exactly, I don't mean to name drop people like that, but he threatened to pull up, And that was fucking... I don't know any sort of divine being that would do that shit. Now come on, bro. Like, damn, get it under control. But welcome in. How we doing? Alrighty. Have fun, DoorDash, and be safe. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate love that. But yeah, we're doing card pools, coin flips, we got animal deck, we got tarot deck, just talking about stuff. Donation, fundraiser, stream, whatever. It's a mix of everything. It's an amalgamation. We're creating a bunch of stuff. Why is that? Okay, hold on. Now I gotta look that up. No, that's not what I look. Well, that didn't help me at all. I looked up the... Okay, I guess I'll have to do that later then, because it's... I guess it's a lot more complicated than just looking up that. Wait a minute. Because now I could look that up. 9? Okay. Oh. That's interesting. I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole later. I was sent something. And now I want to go down the rabbit hole. But I don't want to go down it just yet. It'd take up all my time. But yeah. Let's see here. Can y'all not get up there? Okay, that didn't work at all. But yeah, if no one else has any questions or wants any cards pulled, I'll probably get off here in a minute. And do some other stuff. Dang. You know, there's not really a formation of how things work here. We just kind of, you know, vibe out. You know, asking questions, just, you know, there's not like a strict thing. The daily draw, I can pull one out. I can pull one out and see what's going on with that for sure. So in general, the Six of Pentacles, just being sure that you're giving back to yourself is like the general message today. When one is told to step into their power, how could you suggest to do so? Well, step into your power how? Like, what are you doing for that? Because normally when you're told to step into your power, it's stepping into an authentic version of yourself. So, you know, what is the context of stepping into power? And I can answer that better for you. But the general card is the Six of Pentacles reversed, making sure that you're giving and receiving equally. If you're over giving, you're less likely to receive. If you're over receiving, you're less likely to give. So don't allow yourself to stay cornered in either of those two lanes. Be in that fluid middle where you're open to do work, but also receive the efforts of your work. But yeah, and as well as, especially since it's a 6 card, allowing yourself to keep that balance, not necessarily on the physical realm, but in the spiritual. If you've been asking for things and to your angels for getting things, make sure that you're definitely looking into the spiritual side of things rather than the physical. If you're doing too much on the physical, then you're not really going to be completed on the spiritual, and that's going to, you know, feed back into the physical again. So make sure that you have that good spiritual physical balance, not to feel the need to beg for things, but to do what you need to do to remain in a balanced state. And I'll get an animal card too. I don't do that with the animal cards. They'll go upside down. Well, some of them are upside down actually, so it doesn't necessarily matter. But I'll get one of the animal cards too. I like these animal cards. They're nice. You got a question? What's up? So the card is Bat Witch's Transition. You may need to pay attention to signs around you. The transitions may seem threatening at first, but you must let go of the old habits and patterns that no longer serve your higher calling. They would only hinder your growth. Yeah, I got you for the business card pull. I got you for that. No worries. Why are y'all flip-flopping around quick? When my finger's healed, I'll be able to shuffle again. Until then, it's mummified. Bats are always nice. Not yet, because I mean, technically, yeah, possibly, but I only have one person in the tarot class right now. So, unless they wanted to practice pulling on me or however, that could be a thing. But we'd have to set that up through like a call or something, and I don't know if you're able to call through that through Google Classroom. I'm not too sure, but that is something that I am looking into doing within the classes. But yeah, you can ask a question, La Rose. It's all good. So, Christine, the first card for you is the Nine of Cups reverse. Be careful when starting up a business of thoughts of things not working out. Make sure that if you're going to start up this business, that make sure if you're going to start up this business that it's on a positive note. Don't start the business thinking bad about it, especially if it has a slow start. Don't allow yourself to kind of default down that path. Starting a business might also might not be the best thing to do right now, especially the Nine of Cups being in reverse. Nine of Cups is a genie in a bottle card. With it being in reverse, it's like a wish that won't come true, a wish that's not going to come true, or a wish that's going to be very difficult to come true. So right now might not be the best time to start a business. You might need to, have some balance within self, but really investigate the business that you're running, and why you would want to. Don't think that you have to have an LLC immediately. If that's something that you've been trying to start up, start the business up in a smart way. Start it up small. Start up doing something that you enjoy. Start with social media on it, if anything. Don't necessarily jump into the whole thing with big guns, because that might not work out as well as you think it would at this point in time. But if you were going to start that business anyway, just investigate your steps a little bit closer, and really pay attention to the ideas that's being faced towards you. Really learn how to do things, and really, before even starting the business, kind of study up on the line that you're doing. Study up on the people that are running businesses similar to yours. Study up on those things so that you can have a better ground to stand on when you do start. Yeah, it's all right, Vanessa. No worries. I technically have 3 people in that class, but the 2 people who are also in there are my friends who were who are testing currently the PowerPoints and stuff to make sure everything's right. Basically, well, not right, but like working. So they're in there, but they don't do they don't do a damn thing except for take up space. But I only have 1 member so far. Um, with that, which is completely fine. I get it. I talk a lot about tarot anyway, so really, if you just sit and listen and walk with us for a minute, you'll learn more about the tarot, some more about tarot than you would normally. No, thank you for that donation. I greatly appreciate that. Appreciate, love that. I'll say it right. And no problem, Christina. I got you. So we'll dig into that and see what's going on for you, Yellow Rose. Oh my goodness. Why are all the cards? Can you all quit? I cannot wait for my finger infections to be gone. Well, I probably can't. I'm gonna have to, unfortunately. So let's see here. The first card you have is the Page of Cups. So there's a there might be feelings that you're not listening to. This may even be you overthinking because you're not used to expressing your feelings. It could also be the other person isn't used to people expressing their feelings either. Right now, there's just a bunch of feelings going around. So really ground yourself in in your feelings. Ask yourself why you feel like things aren't going right. Ask yourself why you feel like you might have messed things up. Are you overreading something? Or are you allowing the anxiety, the stress, the energy to kind of amp you up and make you hyper focus on things that you need to focus on? Or are you picking them up the way that you need to? Until you really focus in on that fish that's talking to you, on the inner divine self, you're not really going to have that clear answer. So really focus on that right now. And the Ten of Swords reverse, don't allow your thoughts to kind of burden you. Right now you are in that burdensome energy because like these feelings that you're feeling are fueling your thoughts, and they're creating this disaster of a cloud around you, making you feel like things aren't going one way or the other. So right now, your best case to really figure out this answer fully, and not even just to figure the answer out, but to move forward with things, is to not let thoughts destroy you. If you do feel like someone is your person, keep moving forward within that energy, and sooner or later you'll figure out if they agree with that or not. Even though you believe one person is someone for you, the other person still has the free will to think otherwise, if that's the case. But you need to be able to show room for your feelings in that sort of sense. That doesn't mean to overgive and to overpour into them, but really focus on the feelings that you have and like kind of digest them for yourself. And if need be, and if they are comfortable enough doing it, talk with Brandon about it as well to see how they feel on it. You know what I mean? Because in this day and age, a lot of people aren't comfortable with their feeling state. So it's important just to not beat yourself up about it, because it could just be both sides. That would be a coin flip. But I can do that for sure. So for K, would the pass on pet symbol reincarnate into this life again, or is it just a final for that? So we have, it came up as no on the bottom. The back side, that's a no, and this is a yes. When I flipped it, we're not no. So not in this life they won't reincarnate, but yeah, that's what we got for that. I don't really know how else to like delve into it, because the coin flip is just kind of like direct. And welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? How are we feeling? Yeah, this is my divination coin. I've used it for like a year and a half, and it is infused with a few things. So it's pretty trustworthy, but it has all the tarot cards on the coin. It has all the days of the year, all the months of the year, it has time. You can tell time with it. You can get the zodiacs with it. It's a very unique, powerful coin. Well, that's good. I'm glad I was able to help you out. Energy, meditations, oils, whatever. I had a little ritual that I had to do to mine, but that was one thing that my ancestors kind of told me how to do. So I don't know if I'm able to like talk about that or not. I don't know if that's like a private thing or not. But you can do all sorts of stuff to it. You know, most people just do the energy, but like I have things infused in this coin, so it's a little bit different, just a teensy bit different. But I'll literally sit for like for doing like 30-minute segments asking specific questions, and then and go down the pipeline until I get the answer. With this coin, it's very helpful in that sense. Should you get a full reading for clarity? We'll see if the coin flip. I'll show the sides every time I should flip this coin. I should probably do that. But this side is yes, and that side is no. We'll ask it. So for queen, coin question, should they get a full reading for clarity on their situation, on what they're wanting to know about? Should that be a thing they need to do? I gotta catch it in my hand. Hold on. It does. I do not count it if it doesn't land in my hand. If it doesn't land in my hand, it's a misheard question. That's how I work with this coin. But should there be a reading for clarity for queen, a full reading for clarity for queen on their situation? So we do have a yes on the coin. I'll show you that. I wish I had like a camera like here so I could show it when it hits my hand, but I don't, unfortunately. But it did land on yes for that. So you may be needing to go into a full reading for clarity on your situation, on what you're needing to know for that. 2-card pulls can be very powerful tools, but at the same time, getting a full reading is very important too. What is this Venus in retrograde trying to teach you? We can figure that out. We can figure that out. Of course, no problem. No problemo. That's what I'm here to do. But what is this Venus in retrograde trying to teach? Hey, what is going on with you? You need to get in here. Quit acting a fool. I don't even know what card you were. You're going right in there. Split piles. I'll shuffle 2 more times. Oh, never mind. We'll split 1 more time and then shuffle because the cards are being a little crazy. Just a little bit crazy. So the first card is Hermit Reverse. This Venus in retrograde is really asking you and trying to teach you how to go within yourself and speak to yourself on a different way. Learning how to draw up information rather than seeking it immediately. Being able to like actually like digest what you're receiving rather than just running with it. You know what I mean? This Venus in retrograde is kind of getting you closer with the feminine versions of yourself, with the true versions of yourself, the intuitive version of yourself, so that you can see more clearly. They're trying to teach you how to sit in that calm energy for now. Yeah, with the King of Swords even, so that you can balance out your thoughts, so you can have a higher ruling over your thoughts and won't be as controlled by your thoughts as you think that you need to be. Or even as you might have been in the past. But this Venus in retrograde is teaching you how to be a little bit softer on yourself and how to work with yourself on a deeper, more sensual way. Working with your heart chakra and your third eye chakra will definitely help you with this as well if you're needing that type of advice. But this Venus retrograde is just trying to get you to become closer and more intimate with yourself so that you can truly hear what you need and truly go down the path that you're needing to go down. On top of no worries, no worries. It's what I'm doing. It's what I'm doing. I honestly like this way of doing the streams a little bit more, because usually people ask me to pull cards and it's like I'm either like not pulling the cards or I'm doing something different with the cards while that happens. So doing the 2-card pull streams and stuff, or even during all streams, is like gonna be something I'm gonna do for a while. Why are you doing that? I gotta be careful. I already have an infected finger, and now you're acting up. But it's always nice to do that. I just like reading in general. I stay close with the divine and divination styles and stuff. So it's fun. Yeah, it's been a minute. I'll post it again. Why not? Yeah, does anyone else have any other questions? Any other sort of things? Why is my finger infected? I'm a habitual nail biter because of stress, and I guess I just bit it too much. I don't like the cuticle's not torn. Like there's nothing wrong with it externally, but there's probably like a bacteria from my mouth that got in there and did something. This is like the third time it's been infected, and every time it does this, I get a stern beatdown by the divine. Not really a beatdown, but they very much express that I need to stop. So I feel like this one's the final one because I'm always worried about getting a finger infection after I had the first one, and then that just happens. Yeah, be careful. If you get a finger infection, they're not fun. I mean, you can heal them at home, but like they're just not. They suck. They kind of hurt. When they throb, they hurt, which that's why I have this. It keeps pressure on it, not to keep it from throbbing, but to keep it like protected. I don't know. I don't know the full reason why. I just know every time I had one, I would do this. It does like subside to throbbing a bit, but it also helps the healing process. With that and like submerging it in like using oregano oil or like Epsom salt and water or just warm water in general or cold wraps depending on what kind of infection you have helps. It helps a lot, honestly. Yeah, I don't go to the doctor whenever I get like infections or stuff. I do home remedies and stuff. So that's what I usually do. I had an ear infection at one point, and I ended up like fixing that. I had two of them. It was like one ear, and then like a few weeks later, the other ear got it, and I don't know how, but that was an interesting time for sure, as well. But yeah, if no one else has any questions, card pulls, animal cards, coin flip questions, I'm probably gonna head out in a minute. I'll put that notice out there again and see what happens. You had a really nice dream today? Well, that's good. That be good. That's really good. Any messages from your pet Simba? Uh, yeah, I'd have to get like a coin flip and then do tarot on that for sure. Uh, I mean, not really. You can take it straight. Um, it depends. Some people need it to be capsuled. Um, Other people just take oregano oil straight up, and it doesn't really like make a huge difference. Well, I mean, it depends on how fast you want to clean the parasites out. Is really what you're worried about with that. But is there any questions from Simba for K that needs to be said, yes or no? So we do have a yes. So we're gonna go ahead and use the cards and see what's going on with that. So what messages does Simba have for K? So we have the Queen of Pentacles. Definitely allow the physical around you to nurture you at this time. If you may be like, if you're having dreams of them or, getting memories of them, it's definitely a comfort thing. They're trying to come to you to allow you to have this comfort on the physical. You may be lacking a bit of comfort due to the passing that they're trying to rehabilitate. It might have caused you to like overgive, and they're trying to get you to give more to yourself rather than being so worried about the external and what's going on around you. They want you to be more focused of like what you can do for yourself. A lot of times whenever you do have pets stable, they will tell messages of like needing to take care of yourself more because you took care of them, and as well as that they are trying to take care of you at the same time, but you need to be more receptive to those things as well. But that is the message from them, is to really just allow yourself to nurture yourself and allow the physical around you to nurture you. Don't overgive and don't over receive. Like, don't be burdened by things that you're doing around you at this time. Really allow yourself to free yourself from that sort of mindset. I can't read that. Now I can. Yeah, I can. I'd have to do a coin flip and then a two card pull if you're needing. So for Christina, is there any past over loved ones of Christina that's trying to connect and talk with them at this time? We do have a yes for that one as well. Are you wanting a two card pull for? I'm just gonna go ahead and do one probably because it's probably gonna be a yes. But there are some past over loved ones that are trying to connect with you at this time. I've been trying to at least. If you're wanting to know like what they're trying to tell you, I could do a 2 card, but without like infringing on that, you know, we can do that if you're desiring. And then there was, well, that didn't work. That's gonna work. Alrighty. Alright, sorry, I had to go. I was reading something real quick. I can go do that for you right now and see what's going on. So first we have the 7 of Swords. You might have a habit of, you know, second guessing yourself whenever you're already second guessing yourself. That's kind of what's coming through, because the 7 of Swords represents, when it's upright, is looking back at past thoughts and knowing that they're going to be a benefit, but waiting on the divine to help you. So really, like, they might be telling you to wait. Like you might jump the gun with certain thoughts and certain things that you're wanting to do, but they kind of need you to wait. Now is not the right time to move, and if you've already been moving with something that doesn't feel right, definitely take a step back. They're trying to like warn you of taking a wrong step and overworking as well. So be very careful with that. Don't jump too quickly. This is Gemini energy. No, it's not. This is still Aquarius. This is still in the Aquarius zone. So be very careful with that. It's definitely a time to detach and just kind of to relax. If you have been overthinking, they're trying to like show you that, especially with dreams. If you can remember what kind of dreams you've been having, I can go even deeper with that for you. But with the King of Swords, even, it's like they need you to get a more masterful outlook with your thoughts, because the way that you're thinking is well, but you tend to like jump course a little bit. Like you it's like you might even be in like a tense situation, like a panic, and you get a thought and you're like, okay, I have to do this immediately, when you don't have to do it immediately. It's there to motivate you, to push you forward. They might be trying to warn you about not jumping a gun with a certain thought form. But yeah, I do all sorts of stuff. If you need like a dream reading or something, you can email me and we can talk about that there or however. But you know, I do all sorts of stuff. I just love divination. I love conversing with the spirits. It's fun. But definitely keep a stable mind, and let some thoughts marinate before you jump on them. Don't just jump on something because it seems like a good idea immediately. Really wait for the right timing. That might be something that you might struggle with, or you might think of something and then throw it away later because seemingly the time never comes for it to be acted upon. But be very aware of that, and be sure that you're able to change that moving forward. Can I look up that one and it be different? Or is that the same number that I did? Is this the same thing? No, it's not. It's different. Oh goodness. Oh, the light. But yeah, if no one else has any other questions, I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes, so I can kind of see the time. I'll give it 5 minutes, and then after that, I'll bounce out of here. 911 could either mean a sense of needing security or a sense of a savior coming through. 911 also translates to 11, which is two, which is the coming together of different forces. So it could be something or someone's coming to you to rescue you or to save you out of a situation if you've been feeling stuck. Even if it's not like a dangerous situation, if you just felt stuck or stagnant, like things aren't moving, that could be a warning to let you know that things are about to start coming together and start moving, and to be ready for that. Whenever that happens. Whenever that happens. Let me use my words correctly. Oh my god, my ankle. Well, what? Oh, because that's okay. It's under 2 sheets. Awesome. Did not feel too good, but that's okay. Always, always. Do you feel like it was a wrong? Do you feel like it was a wrong choice? Do you want me to coin flip that for you? Because I can, if you want me to. Okay, I'll coin flip it for you. So did Kay make a misstep? I'll say a misstep is a bad choice. A misstep for not choosing to travel with the parents today, with her parents today, not the hers. We do have no for that. It necessarily wasn't a bad choice, um, or a bad misstep for that happen for that manner. Um, but at the same time, you are kind of dealing with like the own like consequence of not being able to see your grandma. But it necessarily wasn't like a bad step. It wasn't like going to teeter anything more or less into your favor in that sense. It's more of just like a personal preference point for you at that point. Yeah, it was just more of just like a missed opportunity. There's no like bad like, you didn't do anything too bad. And I was kind of picking that up too when I was rubbing the coin. I was like, it's gonna probably be a no. Just it didn't really feel like it was gonna be one, but that's good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna head out because it's been 5 minutes, and I know I said if someone else asks a question, and but I'm probably gonna head out anyway. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the questions. I enjoyed answering them and hanging out and talking and stuff. It's always a pleasure to do this. I love each and every one of y'all to the moon and back tenfold and forever. I gotta paste this again because I do that every time I leave. But I love you all so much. To the moon and back tenfold and forever. And I will see you all later.